For years, quiet industry talk has suggested that something serious may have happened involving Diddy and Usher. The rumors became so intense that they even included claims of medical treatment. Rather than dismissing the discussion, 50 Cent has continued to highlight it, arguing that the entertainment industry often hides uncomfortable realities behind fame and influence. He views this not as isolated gossip, but as part of a recurring pattern. Young artists rise fast, guided by powerful figures who control access and opportunity, often accompanied by pressure to remain silent. When 50 Cent spoke publicly, his response felt less like outrage and more like exhaustion. He stressed that the claims were not his own, but warned that ignoring them entirely is dangerous to him. This is not about old rivalries. It is about newcomers who may not have had real choices, whose ambitions could have been shaped by others, and whose dreams, he suggests, may have been used to benefit someone else's power.
Hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey.
Bieber got by Diddy.
It's not our fault that Usher didn't want to get fucked by Diddy anymore. It is not our fault that Usher didn't want to get fucked by
Diddy. Feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. Right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation...
In the early 1990s, Usher was only 14 years old, a talented teenager still finding his footing in an industry far larger than himself. Music executive L.A. Reid believed that sending the young singer to New York to work under the guidance of Sean Diddy Combs would help strengthen his skills and prepare him for the realities of the business. At the time, Combs was already a dominant force, deeply connected to wealth, nightlife, and influenced many. The move appeared to be a valuable mentorship opportunity. However, from 50 Cent's point of view, it reflected a more complex reality. He suggests that in the music industry, opportunity and danger can exist side by side. In previews for his documentary series, he reflects on how the business has often framed risky decisions as development. He argues that situations like placing a teenager in a powerful figure's home became a recurring pattern, where rising success sometimes came with the expectation of vulnerability as part of the cost of entry.
What happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executives from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher
Fresh off the guard stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the f*** did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this with me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen.
We're having a good time.
L.A. Reid later looked back on that decision with uncertainty, acknowledging that he still cannot say whether it was forward-thinking or a mistake. His goal was to help Usher develop a tougher image, yet the lasting effects of that choice remain open to interpretation. Usher himself has said that his time around Diddy exposed him to situations he has never clearly explained. From 50 Cent's perspective, those carefully measured remarks are meaningful. He describes them as a form of guarded expression, where discomfort is suggested rather than directly stated. He argues that people who experience difficult environments often communicate in fragments, allowing silence to carry what words cannot. This idea sits at the center of his documentary, which questions whether some so-called mentorships, masked manipulation, or misuse of power, and how long the industry will continue to justify questionable choices without addressing its own role.
New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. But hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than this.
And what do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
what
like a living.
Life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about.
Boom.
And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber.
By the late 1990s, Usher had become a global force. Major awards, massive record sales, and international recognition confirmed his place at the top of the industry. Many credited Diddy for helping build that confidence, but 50 Cent disputes that interpretation. He suggests that the resilience people admired may have been formed through intense pressure rather than genuine guidance. In interviews, he has argued that breaking someone down to reshape them is not mentorship, but control. From his viewpoint, that period of influence produced major stars, while also encouraging silence. Achievement became the defense. If an artist succeeded, the methods used were rarely questioned. The result, he reflects, was an industry that prioritized outcomes over individual well-being, celebrating success, while ignoring what may have happened behind closed doors.
His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio, and who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover. It rolls up, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And Scooter was like, "Yeah." And so I ran up to him. I was like, Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one? And he was like, let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out. So the politest possible way he could say no, he did. And I was like, wow, he just turned me down. And I was a little disappointed. He had to go into a studio session, so I was like, whatever. And a week later, he actually watched my videos with my manager and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I let him sing? So flew me back to Atlanta where I got to meet him again. And he wanted to sign me. But there was something else.
Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. It was like kind of like what happened was Justin Timberlake and Usher both went into a ring and boxed it out. And the outcome was Usher. I think it was
How dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know, and a lot of more people know, didn't do you right.
Years later, 50 Cent says a separate moment involving Usher and a young Justin Bieber changed how he viewed the situation. When Usher introduced Bieber to L.A. Reid as an exceptionally gifted young artist, 50 Cent felt the language reflected a troubling mindset. In his view, rising performers were being discussed more as prized assets than as individuals. Bieber, also 14 at the time, was soon brought into the same powerful social circles that had once surrounded Usher. To 50 Cent, the similarity was difficult to dismiss. His team later pointed to archival footage showing Bieber referring to Diddy as Uncle Puff and spending time in his home. He interpreted those moments as part of a repeating pattern, where newcomers were welcomed as family, but gradually absorbed into a system defined by influence and expectation that he argues that when authority goes unchallenged, mentorship can slowly turn into control. More broadly, he questions whether the industry has a habit of offering ambitious young talent access and approval framed as care or guidance. While critics warn that such closeness may conceal manipulation, the concern he raises is whether genuine protection is being provided, or whether opportunity itself is sometimes used to justify exploitation under the language of loyalty and affection.
Plus you, I'ma tell you one time. I'ma tell you one time. I'ma tell you one time. One time when I met you, come on. Wow.
I ain't gonna stop you like that, but this is only a tease. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Island Def Jam recording artist Justin Bieber. It's getting ready to go down. Just so you know, we're in the studio right now working on it. Get ready because it's gonna be big. Ain't that right, Justin?
That's right.
That's right. So look out. We're coming.
the camera and he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with Mace.
Yeah.
And he found the dildo in the sink.
I think that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then Mace said that was Puffs. I think he said Mace said that was Puffs, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was all about, man, but that was real weird to me. That was crazy.
Crazy, man. But before we get off of that, right, I remember you told me a while ago that, you know, Mace, he used to live with Diddy and he know a lot of stuff about Diddy that a lot of people don't know.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
What you mean by Usher, though?
Usher used to stay with Diddy, too, when he was younger. And this was years ago. So the locks ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. This the kind of... Man, listen here. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But I want to talk about this lawsuit by Guy, right? And I want to get your opinion on it. What's the part in this lawsuit where she alleges that she was at a dinner with Neo, Usher, and Jimmy Iovine, and Diddy, he punched Cassie in the stomach and no one did anything? How you feel about that?
They were part of the dinner and they watched Cassie get a bruise in front of Puffy, abused Cassie in front of them. And neither one of those men, and they probably security was around too, did nothing to stop what he had did to Cassie. Now that's just crazy right there, bro. That is just crazy. Usher probably got a daughter. Neo probably got kids. I don't know. Jimmy Iovine, you know, he take about 15, 20 scoops of sugar in his coffee. So all those cats there, supposed to be men, watch that lady get abused right there in public, and they did nothing, brother. They did nothing. That goes to show you the power that he had mentally over them. Here go a woman witnesses, and this witnessing it, and said, they said nothing. Yo, man, stop. Don't do that. Yo, not here, bro. Easy. Nothing. Don't do nothing. Say something. She said they didn't do anything and they didn't say nothing. That's the bad thing about it. If you're not gonna do nothing, open your damn mouth and say something. And that's a lot wrong with our people right now.
By the time Justin Bieber was 15, he was already dealing with the immense pressure of global fame, balancing admiration with the risks that come from entering the spotlight so young. During that period, Diddy presented himself as a mentor, a relationship that some observers now view with increased caution. 50 Cent has said he deliberately avoided certain environments, explaining that exposing minors to those settings was never acceptable to him. Those remarks carry added weight today as older footage and past interviews resurface, prompting renewed scrutiny. Moments once dismissed as harmless are now being reconsidered by critics as troubling in hindsight. According to 50 Cent, none of this comes as a surprise. He believes the warning signs were visible long before public attention shifted. His view is simple. Protecting oneself is sometimes about knowing when to walk away. As recent allegations continue to draw attention, reports suggest Justin Bieber has been creating distance from Diddy while privately reassessing his early experiences in the industry. Usher, meanwhile, has taken a more cautious approach, mindful of a career shaped within the same system now under review. 50 Cent describes the current climate as a breaking point, where long-standing silence begins to weaken and personal history becomes harder to ignore. He maintains that his position is not driven by revenge, but by record-keeping, arguing that stories last longer than the people involved. His conclusion is clear. Fame may fade, but accountability and truth tend to endure.
The IG live that Puffy and his mom did, and Puffy, he was shouting out Mason, showing him love for, you know, him being a part of the No Way Out album. And, you know, his mom, she cut it in, and, you know, I guess she she didn't like him shouting out Mace, and she made a comment telling Mace stop messing with her son or whatever.
I guess mama wasn't feeling Mace. And Mace is a celebrity, and by him having a platform to say something about her son, you know, she would say that. You understand? I've said more about Mace, I've said more about Diddy than Mace has. But maybe because I'm not a celebrity, I don't have the platform, and he didn't say my name, she didn't say anything about, and you too, Gene Deal. And maybe because she might still find me sexy. She says she looking.
What you mean by that? His mom was trying to talk to you back then?
I don't wanna. What? That's how we fell out, bruh. That's how we fell out. You don't know? I thought you watched the Gene Deal show, Art.
No, man. Tell me about that. Y'all ain't know that.
Oh my God. Yo, one day, Puff and Justin was in the office, right? And sometimes I gotta watch Justin, but since the grandma up there, you know, she watching Justin sometimes, I still gotta keep my eye on Puff. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who security gonna let up sometimes, and this, that, and the third. So it used to she used to have a restaurant, and she used to bring food up to the office and give it to people, right? So this one particular time, you know, she used to always like do innuendos to me. Gene, why you don't never Gene, why you don't like that? But I never even, you know, paid her any attention because it's always Miss Combs. It ain't Mama Combs, it ain't Janice, it's Miss Combs. You understand? I gave her that respect. But she used to always throw in the windows, and you know when somebody find you somewhat attractive. And then because I used to get in Puff ass, because Puff used to be disrespectful around his mother. You understand? I'm glad they got a better relationship and they got a better understanding, because she know I said it before. You understand? When he cursed out, we was getting in a limousine. This when the office was on 19th Street and 5th Avenue. He said, didn't I tell you to stay out of my motherfucking business? He was talking to his mother. And I said, boy, let me tell you something. If I ever hear you cuss your mother again, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us. Don't you ever cuss your mother. But I told her to stay out of my business. You wouldn't have no business if it wasn't for her. I'm not playing with you, man. Now you need to apologize to her. She slammed the door because she was gonna get in a limo with us at this time. She just left and went the other way. Now, we was in the office one time. This one time, Justin heard, she brought some food up. And she like, Gene, I need you to go downstairs and get this food out the truck or the van or whatever she had on down there. I need to get out there. I said, and all these people's in the office. It's 1,000 interns that could have did that shit. But I know she just wanted to show that she had power over me, and I would never give her no power over me. You understand? Because she used to always ask me to do shit. I know what, you know, she probably really wanted me to do, but I wasn't feeling that. So now, I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not here for that. So she got all riled up. Everybody do what I tell them to do except you. Who do you think you are? Something like that. I said, I'm here for Puff. Anything happen to him while I go down there getting your food, it's a situation. Puff overheard the thing. And Puff came out and said, yo, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Why you always messing with Gene? Leave Gene alone. This came out his own mouth in his office. And there's people who was there who witnessed the shit. And from that point on, Paul started getting this other dude from my block, around our block, named Stretch, because he was NYPD, to take my days. And I just said to myself, man, I ain't f***ing with that no more. And that's how we fell out. That's how it ended. That's how it ended.
So she was trying to get at you on the low. She was trying to come on to you. That's why she kept messing with you. But you wasn't going for it. You wasn't checking for it like that. You wasn't interested.
Not at all. Nah, I was gonna knock the dust off that, bro. Not me.
You didn't find her attractive?
Today, Diddy's once dominant position in the entertainment industry appears increasingly strained. Federal inquiries, civil lawsuits, and growing public scrutiny have placed his legacy under intense pressure. Amid this shift, 50 Cent has taken an active role in documenting what he sees as a long overdue reckoning. His upcoming documentary project, currently titled Did He Do It?, traces a line from early proteges such as Usher and Justin Bieber to broader concerns about power, mentorship, and accountability in the industry. He does not present himself as an investigator or decision maker. Instead, he describes his role as that of a record keeper, assembling claims and testimonies he believes were previously ignored or suppressed. He has stated that he did not invent these allegations, but refused to overlook them, whether praised or criticized. 50 Cent has emerged as a disruptive voice forcing uncomfortable reflection. In his view, meaningful change often begins when someone is willing to challenge systems that protect influence over transparency. As public attention shifts and applause fades, unresolved questions remain. What started as outspoken commentary has become a broader effort to confront long-standing silence. His message extends beyond any single figure, urging the industry to reckon with the cost of complicity. He argues that success built on fear is not a lasting legacy, but a cautionary sign.